Welcome back, everybody. My name is Travis and this is Bacon and Backpacking, and today I'm really excited because I'm going to be showing you guys my ultralight backpacking setup. This is all the gear, every single item that I bring with me on my trips, okay? And I want to show you guys how you can get your pack weight down to 10 pounds or less, okay? Lots of cool stuff coming up today, so hope you enjoyed the video. All right, everybody, so let's go ahead and get into it, and we'll start with the big items because I know those are the ones that you guys are curious about. They're the ones that are the most important, and they're the ones that are going to cost you the most amount of money. So definitely want to get it right on these things. So as you guys can obviously tell, I rock a hammock setup. I prefer, using a hammock. It's just more comfortable for me. There are advantages to hammocks and tents, so I'm not trying to tell you that a hammock is better, but it's what I prefer. I get a better night's sleep in a hammock. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and take a look. The hammock itself, this is the Warbonnet Blackbird. I love this thing. It's easy to set up. It does have the gear shelf right here, as you can see. I really like this hammock, for the price, for the weight, with a bug net and a gear shelf. It works for me perfectly. Then I went ahead and threw my clothing bag in there just so you guys can get a feel of the size of the gear shelf. It's really clutch to have all that stuff, inside the hammock with you so you don't have to get in and out. And, it's really easy to access. You could use a sleeping pad in a hammock, like if you already have one for your tent. I have found that a hammock is infinitely more comfortable with an underquilt, and it is also infinitely warmer with an underquilt. So this one that you're taking a look at right here, this is the Warbonnet Wookie underquilt, and this particular one is in the 40-degree rating. Also from Warbonnet, that is their Diamondback top quilt. We're looking at a low tonight of about 47 out here on this trip, so I brought the 40-degree top and bottom quilt. Both of those quilts are down to save a whole bunch of weight. Basically everything that I use for the hammock setup is from Warbonnet. These are their Beckett straps. Basically all you do is you tie a double Beckett hitch right here, and that attaches to this continuous loop here on the suspension. Stuff sack is the one that comes from Warbonnet, and I really like tying that Beckett hitch. It maybe takes like 30 seconds or a minute longer than like hardware would. These straps, guys, only weigh about, I think it's like 2.3 ounces for both of them, and they're super long. These are 15-foot straps on each side, so I can hang, pretty much anywhere that I have trees, and it only weighs just like 2.5 ounces or so. That's really good. Sometimes people, aren't paying attention to all the little things in their pack, and if you have like a 6 or 8 ounce suspension, that can really add weight. All right, everybody, and then let's get to the star of the show, the single most expensive piece of gear that I have in my pack by far. This is the Hammock Gear Dyneema tarp with doors, so we'll go ahead and walk you around and show you this thing. All right, so like I said, guys, this is an expensive piece of kit, but it is a good one. So this tarp weighs less than a half a pound. I believe it's about 7.5 ounces. And like I said, it is made out of Dyneema. The cool thing about Dyneema is that it is completely waterproof. So, if it starts pouring or anything, this material won't actually absorb any of that water. So it makes it really nice on a multi-day trip. You don't have to carry any heavier weight or, anything like that from having soaked wet gear. But guys, so I do have this tarp set up in porch mode right now, as you can see. So I utilize my trekking poles there on the front half. I like doing that. It allows you to get a view. When I'm laying in the hammock, I can sit out here and look over at the creek there, so it's pretty cool. I use the trekking poles anyway, so might as well incorporate them in the setup. Now, if it was really windy or if it was really rainy, I obviously wouldn't do that. I would just pull, everything straight down to the ground like I did over on that side. And I do want to point out too, guys, this tarp does have doors, but I do have them tied back. There's little strips of Dyneema like built into the tarp where you can just roll up these doors and just go ahead and store it that way. The snake skin that I store the tarp in, that is also from Hammock Gear. That is their mesh snake skin. And then if you guys want to take a look at that cordage right there, so this is just Dyneema cordage, okay? Also from Warbonnet. That's what I use for all my guy lines, my ridge line, everything like that. So again, same cordage right here. And you guys will also see too, on Dyneema tarps, I do have shot cord attached to all the tie out points, all the D-rings. That's because Dyneema doesn't stretch. And if you get this stuff in high winds and there's no play in the system, you will tear out the guy outs on a $430 tarp. So let's not do that. And then here's a better look, guys, at, see, got a little bit of play in it there. And that's at every tie out point. All right, guys, well, that is the sleep and shelter system all wrapped up. So let's go ahead and talk about, what we carry all this gear in. So This is the Zpacks Arc Air 50. It's considered an ultralight backpack. This is kind of my workhorse. You know, I've had up to about 32 pounds in this, which is all the more I can, you know, possibly think about carrying as far as weight. I mean, that was a winter trip that was very cold with a ton of clothing, you know, extra water, extra food, everything like that. So this thing's a workhorse. Obviously, it works best around like that 20 to 25 pound range, but you can carry up to about 35 pounds in it, and you know, it doesn't feel like it's killing you or anything like that. There are a couple things that I really like about this pack. This like outside mesh pocket here is clutch. I put all kinds of stuff in there. I mean, like my flip-flops are in there, water filter, you know, things that I need to access quickly, usually stays back here. The side pouches are really good for holding, you know, water bottles. I keep my camp chair in there. It does have like a little V-strap that like goes over the top, okay, if you do need to accommodate like a bear can, or you need to strap something to the top of the pack. All of the, you know, like the hip belt and the shoulder straps and everything are very minimalist, but they're comfortable with the loads that you'll be carrying in this pack. Again, you know, if you're going to be carrying 35, 40, 50 pounds, don't buy an ultralight backpack. That's not what they're for. But if you're going to be 25 pounds or under, I mean, it does the job. I keep a mesh water bottle sleeve up here in the front so I can easily access my water right here. I don't really have the mobility to reach behind me and grab stuff out of water bottle pouches. And then down here I keep like snacks and my butt wipes and stuff like that, things that I need to get to really easily. But overall, guys, I mean, I've been rocking this thing for I think almost 3 years now, and I absolutely love it. I love it so much that I bought a second Zpacks pack. And I do have videos, guys, on the channel of both of those. This one, again, is the Arc Air 50, okay? And I also own the Nero 38 liter, which is a frameless and hip belt-less pack, okay? That one's a 38 liter, and that's for when my base weight's super low, like 7, 8 pounds, and I'm carrying like maybe 15 pounds total. All right, guys, so let's talk about clothing. Obviously, this is going to, you know, vary based off of, you know, the conditions and, you know, what kind of trip you're doing and stuff like that. So first thing is, this is just, you know, one of the stuff sacks for one of my quilts that came from Warbonnet. Okay, again, this thing weighs like a fraction of an ounce. I don't put my quilts in stuff sacks. I just jam them at the bottom of my pack into a trash compactor bag, and that's like my pack liner. That's what keeps everything nice and dry. You know, obviously down when it is smashed up and stuffed, it you know, doesn't have any loft. So this jacket's gonna look a little funky when I first put it on here, but this is the REI 650 down jacket. I've used this bad boy down to about 20 degrees. I mean, obviously I had like a base layer on under it and stuff like that, and I probably had like a rain gear like shell over top of it. But when this thing lofts up, I mean, it's surprisingly warm. Pretty versatile, and you know, for the price, I mean, they have these things on sale all the time, guys, you know, for probably something like 90 bucks. At 11 ounces, you know, it keeps you plenty warm, and you know, for $90 price point, it's fantastic. Are there better jackets out there that are down? Absolutely. Do I want to pay 350 bucks for them? No. You know, I've already got $1,100 just in my hammock setup over there. You know, where I can get a bargain, I'm going to get a bargain. All right, everybody's favorite piece of gear. These are the Frog Togs UL2 rain jacket. Get these at Walmart for 20 bucks. Those come with the pants too, but I'm telling you, as soon as you buy them, just throw the pants in the trash, or, you know, make some sort of, you know, craft out of them or something like that. But those things are garbage. So that is why I have the Zpacks Vertice rain pants. These are significantly more expensive than this is. I find myself, you know, hardly ever wearing rain pants unless I'm hiking in like a downpour. Typically, I just wear the jacket. So this thing's really good in, you know, light rains and short duration rains and stuff like that. But if you get yourself into a situation where you have sustained rain, like we were on the AT for a point in time where it rained for about 36 hours straight, and this thing did wet out. The other two items of clothing that I have with me for this trip are a spare pair of socks. These are the Darn Tough socks. They're merino wool. They are expensive. They're $25 a pair, but they do have a lifetime warranty, and I have never worn out a pair of these in many hundreds of miles. And then my base layer, I only brought pants for this trip because, like I said, I brought that puffy with me, and it's only going to be a low of 47, so I don't need a base layer top, right? But these are my base layer bottoms. These are from Terramar. You can just get these on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. They're probably like 20, 25 bucks. These are polypropylene. I prefer polypropylene base layers over merino wool. I just really like them. You know, polypropylene doesn't absorb water, so even when I've been sweating quite a bit, these things dry out. I really like these things, and they're a hell of a bargain. You know, I mean, if you look at getting merino wool base layer, I mean, you're probably talking anywhere from 120, 150 bucks for the tops and bottoms. You can get a pair of these for like $40, $50. So same thing. This is the same pair I've been using for about 3 years. Okay, and I absolutely love these things. All right, guys, and then it's time for one of my favorite pieces of gear, the Helinox Chair Zero. So is it later to take a sit pad? Absolutely. Would I much rather sit in a chair? Absolutely. Is it worth carrying the 18 ounces versus like the 3 or 4 ounces for a sit pad? Absolutely. You'll see some of this video recorded in this chair. Okay, guys, you can be comfortable and still carry a light pack. I mean, for this trip, my base weight is 10 pounds and 4 ounces. So, you know, I could have made a couple of small little tweaks and still fell within ultralight with a full hammock setup over there, you know, and a chair, right? So you can have your cake and eat it too. Absolutely love this thing. They're expensive. They're, I think, up to about $150 now, but they're amazing. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into some of the smaller items in the pack. So this is my food bag, and this is from Hilltop Packs. Really love this company. It's a cottage gear making company. They'll do custom print and stuff like this for you. First thing, gallon freezer bag. Going to need that to store all your wrappers and your trash in. All right, so next up is going to be my food hang kit. So again, all of this stuff is from Hilltop Packs. So this is just a little dyneema rucksack. Obviously, you know, if you try to throw a piece of line over a tree, you need something to weigh it down. Go ahead and use this carabiner right here, and you would attach it to that bag, throw the line over the tree. And then speaking of the line, so I use the PCT food hang style. So basically what's going to happen is I have this little dog bone here, but this is going to act like a toggle that's going to go ahead and grab that carabiner so that you can suspend your food bag from a tree without having to tie it off to another tree. So it kind of saves you, you know, cord if you have to throw in like a weird place. And then just like all of my other cordage, guys, this is a 50-foot hank of reflective dyneema cordage. I do not use paracord for anything, and I'll tell you why. Paracord, when it gets wet, you know, it stretches, it sags quite a bit. So if you have like your tarp set up, you know, your tarp will sag and it'll look like crap, and it'll start, you know, kind of caving in on you a little bit. So I don't really like paracord for my tarp or anything like that. And again, paracord holds water. I know it sounds stupid, but if you have your food bag hanging out in the rain all night, okay, it will soak up water and it will make it about twice as heavy. I actually, when I switched from paracord for my food hang and for my tarp setup, when I switched from paracord, I saved about 6.5 ounces just in cordage, guys, almost a half a pound. So again, this is the reflective dyneema cordage from Hilltop Packs, and then this little plastic thing is just their cord winder. This is actually the first trip that I've brought this on, so we'll see how I like it. So this is my cook kit right here. This is everything, okay? Don't really need anything more than this, at least I don't. So this cooking pot right here, this is the Toaks titanium cooking pot. This is the 750 milliliter one. Got your little lid right there. I keep a little sponge to do dishes, even though I've used this thing like twice, because I generally never like cook food like in the pot. Usually I do like freeze dried or dehydrated meals or something like that. But there have been instances where I use like a Knorr pasta side or mashed potatoes or something, and I'll cook in the pot, and this just makes it easier to scrub things out. So this is my fire kit. It's looking pretty haggard. I'm pretty sure I've been using the same Ziploc bag for about like 5 years, but all that's in here is just 2 mini Bic lighters. I do have them wrapped in duct tape. That serves as an emergency fire starter. And also too, like if I rip my, you know, $20 Frog Togs rain jacket or something, I can duct tape it so water's not coming in. And then I just have a couple of little cotton ball fire starters that are just, you know, permeated with Vaseline. They work, I think, better than pretty much anything on the market that you can buy. And I've been starting fires with those for years. So this is my stove. This is the BRS 3000 titanium stove. Latest, smallest stove on the market. Does it have the best performance? Absolutely not. Does it work about 95% of the time? Yes. If you're up in high winds and stuff, probably not ideal. You can get it done, but definitely not ideal. And then obviously we're going to need a fuel canister. So this is just one of the little 100-gram ones. This one is the Gas One brand. You get these things on Amazon. I mean, if you order like 12 or 15 of them or whatever that, you know, big quantity is, you get these things pretty cheap, plus you save on the shipping. That'll last me for pretty much any trip. I probably only boil on average once, at the most twice a day on a trip. So I mean, that'll even last me for like a week-long trip. This is just an Amazon long handle titanium spoon from Fitness City is the manufacturer. And I obviously have the long handle so I can get down in the freeze-dried meals without getting my knuckles saucy. And then let's go ahead and talk about, you know, some of the smaller items in the pack while we're at it. So this is my ditty bag, okay? This is just basically all my miscellaneous stuff, right? And I keep it all in one place instead of having it just like loosely scattered around my pack. So this is just a little Ziploc bag that has all of my cordage for my tarp. This is my stuff sack for the chair that I'm sitting in. Again, this is a Hilltop Packs product. You can custom print stuff. So this is us, Sarah and I, in the Roaring Plains in West Virginia. So really cool piece of kit. I'll use this to stuff things in, you know, after I've set things up so I don't lose like my stuff sacks and they don't blow away in the wind and things like that. Little microfiber towel, right, to, you know, clean up any spills, stuff like that. This is just my toothbrush and a couple of toothpaste tabs. I don't carry like a tube of toothpaste. I carry like the little tablets, you just chew on them. And then in here is my headlamp. This is the Nightcore NU25. Really like this thing. I think it weighs about 2 ounces. And this is rechargeable one. So if you carry like, you know, like a power bank or something like that, you can recharge your headlamp with that power brick the same way you can your phone. So this thing's super cool. Really like it. And then this is just my little first aid kit. So this Dyneema bag is from Space Bear Bags. I just got it because it was cool. You could use a Ziploc, right? But pretty much in here, I mean, guys, I see people carry way too much stuff when it comes to first aid on backpacking trips. First of all, most people don't have the medical knowledge to carry things, to pack a wound or, you know, something like that. Like most people don't even understand you know, how to perform trauma care. So guys, don't carry like tourniquets and like all this crazy stuff if you don't even know how to use it, okay? Pretty much all I have in here is I have stuff for minor scrapes and abrasions, like alcohol wipes, Band-Aids. I have a lot of pills in here. Like I have like anti-gas pills because obviously you're not eating like a clean diet when you're eating backpacking food. You're pretty much just eating like processed garbage. So I bring like gas pills. If you have allergies, which I do, I bring allergy pills, decent amount of ibuprofen. Benadryl is a good idea to bring. Like Sarah, for example, is allergic to peanut butter. So I always keep some Benadryl in here just in case. Just tiny little, you know, stuff like that, guys. Pair of tweezers to get a splinter. Stuff like that. But I mean, this thing only weighs probably like 4 ounces or something like that. Possibly the most important thing you could carry, especially if you're a new backpacker, you have some new shoes, moleskin, or some sort of tape or something like that. If you start getting hot spots on your feet, okay, go ahead, put that moleskin on there so you can avoid, you know, dealing with a blister for the next 3 days. So as you can see right there, I just carry 2 1-liter smart water bottles. Guys, big tip here. Empty Nalgene, empty. Just the container weighs almost 6 ounces, okay? So 2 of those is going to be about 12 ounces, aka 3/4 of a pound. These smart water bottles, they only weigh 1.5 ounces a piece empty. So I'm going to take the 3 ounces over the 12 ounces every single time. And then guys, I'm always going to pick something like this over a hydration bladder. And the reason for that is I can always see how much water I have left during the trip. I just have to take a look, right? Hydration bladder, you'd have to kind of take it out of your pack, take a look at it. You know, these things are very convenient as well too. Like I said, I hold it right on my chest and just pull it straight out of the pack and take a drink, right? So it's no less convenient than a hydration bladder. And I don't have to worry about my bladder freezing or busting and leaking into my pack and all those other things. So I'm always going to use the bottles. They're lighter, they're more convenient, and you don't have to worry about them in the winter. Let's go into filtration. Pretty standard Sawyer squeeze filter. They're small, they're light. You can use them in the winter. If this is a winter trip, I would have this in a Ziploc bag. I would keep it in my pocket next to my body so it doesn't freeze. And I would also keep it in that Ziploc bag so I could put it in my quilt at night, okay? So these things are great, very versatile. Now, the downside of the Sawyer squeeze is that the water bags that they come with are pretty much garbage, okay? For a couple different reasons. They always bust up here by the neck, okay? I've had like 3 of those things fail on me in my lifetime. And they're also really hard to get water out of because you're trying to get it out of a tiny little opening like that. It just takes forever. Enter the 2-liter CNOC Vecto bag, CNOC, CNOC, whatever you want to say. But as you guys can see, this is a wide mouth, so it makes it really easy to scoop. This is what I use for my water bag. It gives me an extra 2 liters of capacity. It is compatible with the Sawyer and anything that has like the same thread. You just thread it on right there, and then boom, you could gravity feed it, you know, if you wanted to. And then if you're going to carry a Sawyer squeeze, I would highly recommend you do this. There is an extra O-ring in here, okay? Because there's an O-ring right down here, okay? And a lot of people, they end up knocking this thing out and losing it, okay? So for the, you know, 0.0001 ounces or whatever this thing weighs, it's good to go ahead and keep yourself a backup. But that is my water filtering system that I bring backpacking with me. All right, guys, so we're really getting down to the last couple items here. So this is my poop kit, okay? So again, this is a Dyneema bag from Space Bear Bags. Could just use a Ziploc, but dude, this thing's funny. All right, every time I see this, I laugh. So every time I poop, I'm happy. You know, either baby wipes, toilet paper, depends on the area, right? Some places you're not supposed to use baby wipes. If you do, make sure they're biodegradable. And then this is the Deuce of Spades trowel. Guys, I know this is a gear video, but for the love of God, bury your poop, please, okay? Nobody wants to see, you know, a toilet paper flower, you know, 20 feet from their campsite, like every time they go backpacking. I can't tell you how often I see that, and it just drives me nuts. It takes you 30 seconds with something like this to dig a cat hole, okay, and bury it, all right? So please, please don't be that person. Depending on the area, you know, sometimes you have to pack it out. So, you know, keep that in mind. At least bury your poop, please. All right, guys, well, I think for the most part, I mean, that's going to wrap everything up. That is all of my gear that I carry with me. Like I said, on this trip, it does come out to 10 pounds and 4 ounces. If I would have brought my other pack, it would have come out to about 9.5 pounds because that pack only weighs 10 ounces empty. So again, guys, here's all my gear. I hope this helped you out. You know, sometimes I have pack weights as low as, you know, 8 pounds. And sometimes it's as high as, you know, 12 and a half if it's a winter trip. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I hope you got some good recommendations on some high quality gear. If you guys like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content, both gear reviews, you know, backpacking trips, tips, tricks, hacks, things like that, guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my little camping trip here. This isn't really backpacking trip. You know, I drove out here and only hiked in about a mile, and I've got this beautiful campsite right here all to myself. So I think I'm actually going to slide in the hammock for a little bit and, you know, just enjoy the, you know, watching the creek here and just kind of unwind a little bit. But as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys in the next video.